So after 3 years of full-time van life in North America, we sold our tiny home on wheels, moved across the world, and bought a 1996 Land Rover Discovery 1. Last week, we converted this truck into a camper, and this week we're taking it on its first trip, where we'll learn what it's like car camping for the first time in New Zealand. Welcome. We are on our maiden voyage in our... Are we calling it Barney?
Ask them to help us.
We're thinking about naming this vehicle Barney. No, it doesn't fit, right? We are on our maiden voyage in our new Land Rover that we bought. We've only been in New Zealand for like 2 weeks now. And oh my god, it is so windy. I feel like we've been trying to find stuff to kind of fit our camper. Like we need a new camp stove, plates, forks, knives, the whole 9 yards. But I was looking on Marketplace and I was like, okay, we'll get everything secondhand. And honestly, we couldn't get a hold of anybody. There was only a few people that had postings. And then like the 2 people that I was actually able to message and get a hold of, they had already actually sold it. So it was virtually impossible to find camp gear off of other people. So we actually just went the other day to go to the warehouse, which is like kind of like Target, I guess, here, and loaded up on all this stuff. And I feel like everything is so, you know, after 3 years of full-time van life, I feel like everything is so like crispy and new, and it doesn't yet feel like our camper, if that makes sense. So we're on a mission to break it in. Today we're actually at the 12-mile Delta campsite, and it is actually one of the filming locations for Lord of the Rings. And there are people that come here to New Zealand to solely go to all of the Lord of the Rings locations, and this is one of them. So at some point we are gonna try to find the exact spot that was in the film. We're not like huge Lord of the Rings fans. I mean, we appreciate the series. Maybe we'll become fans a little bit more after our time here in New Zealand. Off to a great start so far. Nick is already feeling very tired, so let me show you the campsite. Such a beautiful day. Oh my god. Okay, first impressions of the camper, feeling a lot smaller than our ambulance, obviously. But it's actually kind of nice because it takes like 2 seconds to set up. This spot here is just surrounded by mountains. We have some campers over here. We have another camper back there. I learned that these are cabbage trees, not palm trees. I was miscategorizing them in our last video and I got a lot of corrections in the comments. So thank you to anyone who corrected me. And now I know, and they're literally everywhere here. Okay, so I'm just going down this path. The bathrooms are right there, and that's like the main thing that differentiates a dock campsite from just freedom camping. And right in front of me is the prettiest view. Let me show you. Okay, look. Oh my god. The water is so cold.
Good morning, or I guess I should say good afternoon. I just woke up from my nap, got hit with like this wave of being super tired. This bed is so comfortable. I'm so glad that we ended up going with the like baby cots, because with the blow-up mattress, it first of all, it was just never nearly this comfortable, but it also like didn't fit right, and it just, yeah, I'm really glad that we ended up going with the baby cots. Unfortunately, we only have like a small little battery bank charger, which we know is not enough to keep our things charged. But for just like an overnight trip, it should be okay, although I'm noticing that our little battery bank is actually dying pretty quickly. So I think maybe we'll have to get like a proper power bank, like the one we had back home here. So hopefully we can source that. Oh. Okay, let's do it. Let's make some food.
I feel like this first trip is already showing us how much, like the things that we need to get still, basically. We definitely need a power bank, and then we definitely need like a picnic blanket or some kind of outdoor mat. In our ambulance, we had this like very large outdoor mat. Awning can come later. Other than that, I feel like this adventure vehicle is gonna be so good, and I can't wait to see more of New Zealand. But the one thing is that we are running out of service. My phone is at 19% and it's going down quickly, like it goes down so fast. But without our maps, we may not be able to find this location from The Lord of the Rings.
Rachel cooks for me, and I pour us wine in baby cups.
Even distribution of labor, hey?
Well, I think I get the brunt of the work. I'm not pouring it over the sheet.
That's why we had nothing white in our ambulance. And everyone was like, oh, you should have white walls, you should have white sheets. Why is it so dark in there? Because I cannot be trusted with a bottle of red wine and white sheets.
So we're gonna try to play this game that I played back in Vancouver with some Swedish friends of mine called Kub. It's kind of a funny game. You basically throw like pegs or like sticks at pegs and try to knock over the pegs, and then you have to throw them back and stack them. It's kind of confusing to explain, but it's a really, really fun like lawn game. And I found like a full Kub set here in New Zealand.
We're gonna be in for a treat here. Update, I have no idea what I'm doing. Oh.
It sounds like a robot.
So, huge observation. The birds here are crazy. Yeah, it sounds like Star Wars.
Even though you wouldn't do the same, I'd give you the world like I promised I would.
I think this might be top 3 nicest campsites we've ever stayed at.
Wouldn't do the same. Had this conversation more than 10 times.
So cute in here. Look at this. So we have our little skylights. Sunset. How pretty is this?
So before we left, the weather app said it was going to be about 3 degrees Celsius tonight, which is pretty cold. So hopefully that's changed and it's going to be warmer. Summer's coming, but it is still spring. I woke up like an hour after I went to sleep and my leg was completely numb. I have no idea why. I didn't feel it starting to go numb or anything, but I woke up and it was like completely dead and I was like, oh, like hitting it.
What is this story?
That's what happened last night.
You didn't tell me that.
I know, I forgot until I just started explaining it.
Okay, so here in New Zealand, there are 2 different types of camping. Basically, there are freedom campsites and dock campsites. Freedom camping is like, if you're from America or you're familiar with like van life in America, it's the same as BLM camping, basically. Just free land that basically anybody can camp on. But to be able to freedom camp, you have to have a self-contained sticker, and that would just be to certify that your vehicle is self-contained. And self-contained has to just hit a certain amount of requirements, like you need to have about 12 liters of black water per person, a certain amount of liters of gray water per person. You need to have a fixed sink. We decided to not go with a self-contained vehicle for a couple of reasons. Number one, I can't believe the requirements. I think that they're so strict. I think it's actually amazing that they have these requirements, but they are, in my opinion, a little bit intense. Like our van that we were living in full time throughout Canada, US, and Mexico, full time, that was our full-time home, it would not be considered a self-contained vehicle here. Honestly, after 3 years of full-time van life, the last thing I want to do is carry around 24 liters of black water in any vehicle. in any vehicle. I mean, you can see our campsite right now. It still feels like freedom camping. It's not like staying in like stalls at an RV park for $60 a night or something, like how it is back home. So we do have like a dock pass so that we can stay at any dock site for 365 days. And I'm sure that we're going to be staying at a lot of them during our travels throughout New Zealand. But the one thing that I do really like about the whole self-contained thing is that, I mean, it's obvious. It ensures that people actually dispose of their shit properly and that people aren't just like being all over the ground or anything like that, and that freedom camping is basically reserved to people who can basically promise to have their own facilities on hand. The difference between the freedom campsites and then the dock campsites is that the dock campsites have facilities. So whether that's just like a little pit toilet, at least it's something so people aren't trashing these campsites. And if you've traveled through North America, I mean, North America is absolutely beautiful, but quite honestly, the campsites were trashed a lot of the time. Doesn't seem to be as much of an issue here. So look at our moonroof. I forgot to mention last night, I could see the stars through it. It was so beautiful last night. The skies are just so clear here. Let's go find Smeagle.
Found her.
Hey, what?
Look at her hairy little feet hanging out.
Okay, this morning we're doing a whole bunch of veggies, chickpeas, garlic, butter, and soy sauce. And anything with garlic in it smells gourmet. I don't make the rules. Phone is at like 3%. Don't know where we're going, but determined to find this location from Lord of the Rings.
Let's do it. Let's find where Frodo and Sam were hiding. We rewatched the scene before coming here, but we'll definitely have to rewatch all of the Lord of the Rings now that we're here. And who knows, maybe we'll become big Lord of the Rings fans.
What do they call themselves? You know, like Harry Potter, it's like, they're like
Potterheads?
Potterheads, and then
Star Wars is, I don't know what Star Wars fans call themselves. Lordies? I don't know. Lordies sounds like if you're like a Lord fan.
oh, like Lord from New Zealand.
I think it's like right here.
This?
I think. Oh, no, this is all water.
This isn't it. Because we don't have phone service and our phones are dying, I started to get kind of nervous that we're not going to find it, but one blog said that we needed a bridge, so we found the bridge.
Here you'll encounter the Ithilien lookout where Sam and Frodo were hiding.
I think it's here? Up here?
I don't know, it says you'll begin to climb a small ridge. Maybe it's further along.
This may be it. Okay, we're getting further away because this is definitely not it. Maybe that other thing was it. Yeah, this is totally it. Cool. Wow, they really made it feel like it was so much higher up than where all the guys come in marching. Yeah, it really looks like they're like on top of a cliff. I feel very accomplished.
Okay, so while it wasn't perfect, I'd say our maiden voyage was still a success. And we'll see you next week in the next episode of our New Zealand series.